I was about 3.5 hours in the makeup chair every day before I could get onto set. I've always said that Akshay to me is like family. I mean, to be able to play that on screen, I think for any actor would be a dream come true.
Hi Lara ma'am, welcome to Eastern Eye.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thanks.
Ma'am, first of all, I have to say I had to watch trailer I think nearly 5 times to just get it that that's Lara Dutta ma'am. So first of all, I have to say what an amazing transformation.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Most appreciated. Thank you.
So ma'am, did you expect such kind of a response when maybe you were shooting for the film?
No, to be honest, I've really been overwhelmed by the response of just not even from fans, from the audience, but also from my own fraternity and family. I mean, it's been really incredible. I didn't really expect that it would be this big. But yeah, I mean, when we were filming itself, when we actually started filming in Glasgow last year, the first time that I stepped onto set dressed as the character, I suddenly noticed that people around me were behaving quite strangely, and I couldn't understand. I mean, these were people that I worked with all the time. I didn't know what was going on. Everyone was kind of, just standing up straighter or just being more polite. And obviously, because I wasn't looking in the mirror, I would sometimes forget who I was looking like. And, I still remember, and I think for me, a defining moment really was on set. Akshay and I were waiting for a shot to happen, and the lighting was going on, and he was sitting on the couch next to me, and he kept staring at me. And I said, "Why are you staring at me? What's going on?" And he was like, "This is so strange. I feel so weird sitting next to you right now." And I think so we realized that for sure, something was happening here that was quite different from anything that had happened in past characters that I've played. So yeah, exciting things.
Right. So, as you said that you were not looking much into yourself in the mirror, but when for the first time this whole look test would have happened, and when you saw yourself in the mirror for the first time, what was that reaction?
So honestly, I mean, for me, when we actually started, processing the prosthetics, it's a long process. You have to make a mold of your face, and then the prosthetic pieces are made, and slowly things start coming together. So it was a certain amount of time that elapsed, while all of these little bits were coming in together. And then the day that we did the look test was the first time that I got into the makeup chair, and then all of that got put onto me. So apart from the prosthetics, it was also aging the face, pigmentation, wrinkles, changing the jawline, all of that. And when it was all done and I looked at myself in the mirror for the first time, I mean, I'm not surprised that people tell me that they can't recognize me, because I just couldn't recognize myself. There was nothing of Lara that I could see in that mirror at that time. And I was pretty amazed. And I give a lot of credit to Vikram Gaikwad and his entire makeup and prosthetics team. I think they did just an absolutely brilliant job. So we were very clear, that we wanted. There were two ways to really go about me playing Mrs. Gandhi, because I don't look like Mrs. Gandhi, right, at all, ever in real life. So it was either I would be just Lara Dutta, the actor, playing a representation of somebody on screen that people were very familiar with. And, we'd try and kind of, everybody would assume that I was playing Mrs. Gandhi. Or we actually tried to get the resemblance as close as possible. And, we decided that that's what we would attempt to do. So to see that, kind of get there pretty much was very, very exciting.
How much time did it take, the whole makeup process to get into that look?
Well, I was about 3.5 hours in the makeup chair every day before I could get onto set, and about an hour to take it all off, which was also quite a tiring process.
Right. So, ma'am, of course, now with Luke, we can see that the transformation is great. But, to prepare for the character of, our former Prime Minister, Indira Gandhi, did you check out, her videos to, check out the, how body language was, how she spoke? Did you do such things as well?
Yeah, we did. So, I mean, obviously, BellBottom is based on quite a dramatic event. It's based on a hijack that took place during Mrs. Gandhi's tenure. And, we with Ranjit, my director, we sat down and we looked at hours of footage of interviews with Mrs. Gandhi, archived footage that is available of hers. It also really helped because my dad, when he was in the Indian Air Force, he used to be Mrs. Gandhi's personal pilot. So he's flown her innumerable amount of times, and he's interacted with her on a one-on-one basis. So for me, he became a huge source of inputs, because you can draw references that you see from videos, but to really meet somebody who knew her as a person, who knew what she was like when she was interacting with people, her tone of voice, how she, delivered commands, what she was like in real life. Those were little insights that were invaluable insights for me to gain from my dad. But piecing all of these together, but also not just understanding her body language, the way she sat, stood, the way she wore her glasses, when she wore her glasses, her eye movements, the way she spoke. But it was also kind of getting a little bit into her head, because it was important to understand what was the background at that point of time in 1984 in India, what was going on, socially, politically, all of that. So therefore, in an event like this, given this background situation, how would somebody react? So there was definitely a certain amount of prep that went into it, and especially huge responsibility playing a character like that.
So, ma'am, of course, there have been tweets on social media that I have been reading that now if a biopic is made on Mrs. Indira Gandhi, it should be Lara Dutta who would play that. So what do you have to say about that?
Look, I think it's a dream come true for any female actor to play an iconic personality like this on screen, and would I want to do a biopic on Mrs. Gandhi? Why not? What an incredible personality, and she's had, she's been loved and revered, across the country and across the world, but there've also been people that had, their own issues with her regime, the way that she was as a leader. So it's an incredible life. And to be able to play that on screen, I think for any actor would be a dream come true.
Right. This is your 10th film with Akshay sir, if I count Chalo Dilli as well. So do you think that
13.
Now as co-actors, do you feel that, it's very easy to, act and react to each other in a scene?
Yeah, it is. Today, Akshay and I are, we're way beyond just him being my first co-star or another actor that I've worked with. I've always said that Akshay to me is like family. And as actors sharing a screen, we have an instinctive chemistry that plays off each other. In a scene, even when it's roll camera, he will do something and he doesn't even need to tell me the way that he wants me to react, and vice versa. We pick up from each other really, really easily. We play off each other really well. And it never feels like, you're working really hard when you're on a film with Akshay. It just feels like you're having a blast. You start a film and it finishes before you even know it. But, and it's also somebody, he's a thorough professional. He's never keeping actors waiting on set, waiting for him. There are no star tantrums. He's making sure that everybody's well looked after. So it's a breeze and a pleasure working with Akshay.
Right. Lastly, what's happening after BellBottom? If I see in past 2 years, we haven't seen you much on the big screen, even if I ignore the pandemic. So is there something on the cards after BellBottom?
Well, the big screen in itself for the last 18 months, BellBottom is literally coming back into, opening out the whole cinema space in India again, reviving an industry, if you might say so. So it has been tricky, but this year, 2020, 2021, for me has been an incredibly busy year as an actor. So apart from BellBottom, I've also done 3 web series that are coming out this year. So it's been, I think through this entire pandemic, I've been very grateful and very blessed to have the kind of amount of work that I've had as an actor. And I've put in the hard work, and now it's time to wait and see what the audience thinks of it. So yeah.
Right. Ma'am, it was really nice chatting with you, and I'm really looking forward to watching you in BellBottom.
Thank you, Murtuza. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Bye, ma'am. Take care.
Bye.